What is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word homeschooling? You might think of a subpar education or something that only hippies or religious extremists do. But for many people around the world, this couldn't be farther from the truth. Homeschooling offers them a better opportunity than traditional schooling. Now, I'm going to start with what is homeschooling? Homeschooling, quite simply, is just the educating of a student at home or really outside of a school environment. And it's important to keep in mind throughout my speech that it can widely vary from region to region and country to country, so it's important to do your research before making any decisions. Now, what are some of the benefits of homeschooling? One is the potential for better grades in middle school and high school. Statistics show that in the United States, 15 to 30% homeschooled students score 15 to 30% higher on standardized tests than traditionally schooled students. And I personally experienced this when I went to public school previously, then was homeschooled for 4 years and went back to regular school. And I saw a large improvement in my standardized test scores. Next is the preparation for success in university and getting better grades there as well. As with traditional school, teachers take a more active role in making sure students stay on task and get all their work done. But in homeschooling, students have to learn to do this themselves and learn skills such as staying on task and self-motivating. All these skills can greatly help students when they move to university, where professors and teachers in universities take less of an active role as high school and middle school students. But because the homeschooling students already have this skill, they have much more opportunity for success. This is shown at the University of St. Thomas, where homeschooling students had an average GPA of 3.41, while traditionally schooled students only had an average GPA of 3.14. Additionally, they were at least 10% more likely to graduate. Next, and possibly the largest benefit of homeschooling, is the ability for students to develop life skills that they might not have been able to otherwise. This is because they don't have to spend all the time traveling to and from school every day or doing large amounts of additional homework. I personally, when I was homeschooled, I had adequate time to learn how to take care of animals that we had in our farm, learn how to cook, clean, and become an avid reader, all of which I wouldn't have been able to do without the extra time from homeschooling. Now, here are a few famous examples of people who were homeschooled. For one, Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast, she was homeschooled in high school, as well as Taylor Swift, the singer-songwriter. Both of these people are widely successful, and homeschooling gave them the opportunity to have time to develop the skills that help them succeed later in life. Now, why choose homeschooling? For many people, they choose homeschooling because of a lack of quality or affordable education in the area where they live. And this was why I chose to homeschool personally. As the parents can create a curriculum for the students that perfectly matches the quality and price of education that they want their children to have. Next is that homeschooling can allow the parents to create a curriculum that personally fits an individual student's strengths and weaknesses, as well as potential learning differences like ADHD or dyslexia that might not be good for learning in traditional school. Say a student is really strong in mathematics, but weak in languages. The parents could create a curriculum that allows them to stay adequate in languages, but also take advanced math classes that they might not have been able to do otherwise in traditional school. What are some misconceptions of homeschooling? Some of the misconceptions of homeschooling is that students have a hard time focusing on work at home. And while this might be true for some students, if the students properly manage their time and take breaks, it can be completely incorrect. As well as they can travel to different locations to study, like cafes or libraries, where the change of environment might help them study better. But I still acknowledge that not everyone is comfortable studying outside of a traditional school, and traditional school might be better for them. Now, perhaps the largest misconception of homeschooling is perceived reduced social interaction in students. And if the parents properly manage the student's curriculum, this can be completely incorrect. I, for example, took an average of 5 classes every week outside of school, such as Arabic, English, science, and nature class. And all these classes give me plenty of time to interact with other students my age and other adults. Now, without this, I can imagine that for some people it might be hard not interacting with other students, but if the parents do it correctly, this misconception is completely untrue. Finally is, what happens when the students become too advanced for a parent to teach them in a specific subject? Well, in this case, there are numerous online classes and courses that students can take to match any level they need. Or additionally, they could go and take external classes with tutors at community colleges or experts that can teach them at the level that they need. In conclusion, I encourage anyone thinking about homeschooling to do their research and take the step, because it can lead to many benefits like improved grades, success in university, and preparation for life outside of the home. Thank you.